But yeah, that Gabi, eh? Goddamn! But all reported title episode 10, season 4, the final season. We're gonna see what we're gonna do next thing here. It's gonna be interesting to see because the pacing they're going, I just cannot see. So I said it last week, but I'm thinking about it more, and I really think they're gonna do a movie, right? I want to say it again. I'll do a video about it, maybe some kind of prediction. But I really think they're gonna do a movie. I just really think we're gonna have a movie because I just have a hard time picturing. Okay, so how are we gonna be able to finish the storyline right in this season, and maybe a part 2, right? That was you didn't tell that, but as I said last week, was it Black Clover? I'm like, they didn't Black Clover right at the ending. I'm just like, no, they're gonna do a movie. I think it's like the most obvious thing ever that they would do a movie, finishing it off. I say it here again because I'm thinking about the whole week and hope that every now and then I'm like, it is definitely gonna be a movie, right? You just again imagine having Attack on Titan like the last 10 or so episode, right, in like a 2-hour movie instead. Imagine how much money that would make, right, in the theaters. You took a Demon Slayer, right? I said again, Demon Slayer, it rocketed Sony stock, right? So imagine Attack on Titan, the last like 5-10 episodes as a movie, like the stock's like. I say it again here, like it's gonna be a movie because I look at all the earnings reports on like this on this week and so on, right? So it's like a no-brainer. But anyway, happy Valentine's Day. So I say it again here. I'll probably do another video about that, but it must be a movie. I'm so sure of it. Valentine Day episode here after filming Mushoku Tensei. They're definitely a Valentine anime where the stealing is so. But anyway, let's watch the episode. So 3, 2, 1, and go. So 10 here. Aaron is still stuck in prison, I guess. It's probably we start with. What happened to my best potato girl? Yeah, gotta keep fighting, right? He's the attacking, advancing Titan Network also, it's gonna. But like Hannes has here, he also sounds crazy. Like he's going mental. Oh, that's super dark. Okay, let's just take that. The Titan also damn dark now. Okay. So of course he imprisoned Aaron since he was like, not following orders, him and seeking his evil crazy plans. Aaron's ripped at least. That's a time skip improvements here. They gave Aaron a lot more abs. Very good. Ooh, here we go. Historia. Oh yeah, it's a Historia episode. It's about Historia, eh? I think it'd be a perfect Valentine's Day episode. It's gonna be the love story with Historia. It'd be like the perfect. Like the perfect February 14, right? Historia's love story. Maybe we can finally end the whole Emu X Historia thing. Yeah, I'm still salty about that, the Crunchyroll. No, but I mean, I don't mind Historia and Emu. It's just that it was season 2 filler episode. And Crunchyroll was like, that was the best love story this season or this year, 3 years after it happened. In Crunchyroll Award 2019, they nominated Historia as Ymir, even though the love story between them was in 17, like 2 years afterwards, as a filler episode. So I was like, really? Like, I mean, I'm not saying it wasn't even canon. I'm just like, come on. And also 2 years prior. I'm like a number guy, right? If you're gonna say award something for any kind of award, right? Oscars, whatever. It has to be the right year at least. Like I hate the Crunchyroll too when they have like this year they had Beastars. Beastars is a great anime, but it didn't air 2020. It aired 2019, right? Like in my top 10 2019, I had Beastars, it's a great anime, and then Crunchyroll is like, oh, 2020 Beastars, like that's the wrong year, man. Like they can't even do years. So I'm just like, what is this? Man, no, I just hate that. Because it's like, when was the English dub version was released the next year or something. I don't know why they go for that, right? But anyway, here we go. So there we go, crazy, fanatic Elena we saw last episode there. Kind of like the Seek Man, Leva looks really tiny. Like, I mean, it's gonna be that guy, but Leva is really tiny actually. I mean, I know he's short, but I mean, come on, like when he stood there, and also here, yeah, he looks like he's 2 heads shorter than everyone else there. Well, Yelena is like a giant, so. Oh, here we go. The Japanese country is coming. It's like a data thing. I should show her. This is really cool. Okay, here we go. It's gonna be the Akamas. They're like Japanese or something. It's super imba. Mikasa is like a. She's some kind of Wano person. I don't know. Something like that. Yes. She has this like legendary. This is like a Zoro backstory now. Mikasa's actually from Japan or something. She has this like sword. Yeah, like she's actually a princess or something. I think this story is really silly. I mean, it can be that guy, but it's like Mikasa is a kind of hime or something. She's a kind of like secret Japanese princess. Of course she is. It's like, you know, she's like a secret princess or something. Yeah, she's from the Historia princess royal family or something. Yeah, of course she is. Yeah, that makes sense. Sure, she's the shogun's daughter or something. It's like what? Yeah. This never made any sense. I was like, come on, this is just out of the blue that Mikasa has to be some kind of shogun daughter or something. Oh my god. She's the Hime-chan from Japan, kinda. Of course she is. I know this story I think is so silly. This is just so silly that he comes Japanese, or the Hisuren, right? And yeah, Mikasa, of course, she's like related to their lost emperor or something. Because reasons. It's never explained. It's no build up for that. I mean, Mikasa is obviously very powerful, it's like Levi, but it's no build up that she would be the royal prince or something. It just happens to also be the princess, right? It's like, okay, of course she is, because she's like the main heroine of the. Ah, I find it so silly. Oh my god. Oh my god. I think it's just ridiculous. Yeah, but you're also like Princess Historia. So now they're both princesses. Yeah, they're both royal family now. Awesome. Yay, girl, we like princess together. Woo! We are royal family together. Something. I'm sorry, I keep laughing. I think this part here is. I mean, it's one thing that kind of Japan is kind of with the aliens, right? Yeah, the Husen. But yeah, I just find it so ridiculous that Mikasa, of course, is somehow the lost princess of the Japanese country or something. Because why not? Yeah, of course, it's Zeke and building up his strategy here. But it explains why she, is helping the aliens, right, in the what do you call it? At the courting, when they were kind of like having this. When he spilled the wine on her, right? She was like, "Oh, you boy, it's my fault." Yeah, like she's an alien supporter, right? She's, she's pro-alien, so to speak. Yeah, and of course, Zeke has been building up this for a long time, right? So I mean, all of these things that the Japanese country is basically with them and they're trying to fight them all and all this stuff. This I can buy easily, and Zeke has been building up, so I can buy this thing, right? It's the Mikasa part that is like, oh, Mikasa also happens to be a princess. It's like it's just kind of thrown in there, like it's not even relatable. It's not even doesn't even matter for the storyline. She just happens to be a princess too. Okay, like I can't be the only guy being like, why is that a part of it? I mean, no, it's like typical political drama, right? She's like, we can trust us, we're gonna help you, we never betray you. Like, now I mean, it's classic, political drama. Historia is trying to make some allies with them, and, And this is also why the whole Mikasa thing is so unnecessary. It doesn't relate to this story. It doesn't really matter. Like, she was going there anyway. So, she was gonna ally with them regardless. It doesn't have any impact on the storyline, really. Not that I know at least. I mean, you could argue that I guess she's more interested in being allied with them now because of Mikasa, but not really, because she was going there anyway, right? Like, yeah, she was gonna obviously team up with them before knowing about Mikasa, right? Like, look at it in here. So again, the He-Man part with Mikasa is completely unnecessary. I can't drop it now because it bugs me so much. The read is so weird. It's kind of explaining, you know, we have this thing and the war effort, and gets a little bit in the Ackerman's superpower thing as well and so on. But yeah, and of course the the Historia family tradition there. Of course, Historia now is the last. Well, I guess Steak as well, I suppose, but yeah. The royal bloodline and so on. And I like that was like shown in third ending, right? We were eating, yeah, the daughters are eating their mom there, the third ending. That was before the manga too, so that was like the first time I ever saw about that. The Walls eating their mom there and so on. The tradition of, carrying on the bloodline. This is kind of explaining why Eren goes cray, right? He's like, no way my Historia is gonna have to do this thing, right? See, it's a perfect Valentine Days episode. Yeah, it's like the love story between Eren and Historia. Yeah, you guys can drop the whole Eren and Mikasa. It's about Eren and Historia. You can drop the whole Historia on Ymir. This is why he's going crazy and like, I will do this strategy to save Historia, right? See, this is why I'm gonna ship Eren and Historia even more now. I can't wait for a ship war here. It'll be awesome. And also why Eren was more ripped, right? Because, like, why not? He is really a lot, isn't he a lot more ripped than he used to be at the time skip? I mean, Eren is way prettier now, right? I'm gonna be that guy, but he's, ooh. And also angrier, but... Yeah, I love hanging. Yeah, shit! Yeah. Oh, you perv! Yeah. He's always gonna be like, I ban you! But clearly she can tell that Eren is going cray, right? Not more like, yeah. But she does her jokes, right? She does her jokes. Oh, here we go. It's gonna be the Historia, the love story. Here we go. See, the perfect Valentine Day episode, pregnant Historia, because she needs to get a kids, right? That's explain with the whole, yeah, and her inheriting the powers and all, and eating the, get a baby to eat her own herself and so on, right? She needs to get a baby to kill her, right? Yeah, like her family is pretty sick. Yeah, she needs to get a baby so that baby can eat her. Unless if Eren saves her, right? Basically, so ship them. I'm gonna get the ship war here, but. It is, I feel it's perfectly fourth wall here that is airing now here. That the Historia is pregnant in this fourth, Valentine's Day, 4th of February. And of course, we remember Historia growing up with her mom and so on. Man, her mom is like the worst mom in Attack on Titan, man. I know we should never born. Yeah, that mom, and there's some level of, she seduces the farmer boy, claiming that she seduces the farmer boy. It's like. Gotta get a kid, right? So basically she's like, no, she got with the least royalty. But, I'm gonna say it immediately here. I always felt that Eren is probably the father, and the whole farmer boy is like some kind of story she made up to not say that it was Eren. Oh, I seduced the farmer boy, I'm a rich classic princess, Yeah, like, I don't buy the story. I don't buy it. Who's the father is a classic, right? But for any kind of TV show, for any anime, when a character gets pregnant, I was like, who's the father? Like, that is always gonna be the question, right? Who is the daddy, right? We're drinking a lot of wine here. That's gonna be important later. There, of course, is this the potato girl's love story. A little bit in the railroad here. Yeah. I like that this anime went from fighting giant stuff to being like, I don't know, economy. It's like we're following them, building railroads and, I don't know, producing money. Yeah, it's like, oh, but now the anime is about, I don't know, countries at war and like alliances and, you know, like, yeah, constructing stuff. Obviously, of course, she's OP, so can carry all this steel box. No, but like, come on, like, these men are like, oh, this he also comes carrying this massive, like, she's so much stronger than everyone else, right? But yeah, remember this anime was about, you know, fighting titans. Now it's like, we have to build a railroad. We have to make industry and industrial revolution and so on. You know, creating ships and the weird thing with this thing, I want to say here, last week too, is that they have this spin-off manga. There is canon apparently that I read, which is like they have this magical force with super steel blades that they made weapons of, and that is never ever covered in the main story. That's the iron or the steel or whatever, that this magic of steel having that force is like super important for the industrial complex of Paradise. I was saying, but it's never really touched upon in the main storyline, so it's really weird from like this world building aspect, because that's really important how they build it. But whatever, I leave it. But it's like a really weird side. This is a princess now. I just can't drop that. She's a goddamn princess now. I just can't drop that. Like, come on. Next episode, Han is also gonna be princess. It's gonna be the Han is the queen actually of the country. It's gonna be some other. It's not have a train here. It fits in that, of course, Armin is kind of the engineer on it. He's the guy with brains. He has to drive the train, of course. Yeah, you're gonna keep milking Sasha that is dead now. Yeah, you gotta keep milking the dead girls, alright, come on. Frustrated guy. Can I explain part of his plan to his close friends here now? Can I get a little bit of his. And yeah, Aaron is starting to build up the ponytail now. He started having half the long hair. Yeah, he's starting. Yeah, no, yeah, it's true. He kind of is starting to have the longer hair, a little more muscular, right? He's getting into a little more the hunk Aaron that he is after time skip in the middle. He's like halfway there now in this flashback here. Colin has longer hair now though. It's more a busk later, right? Isn't it? Come on. Like, my poor Sass. At least she had a lot of screen time after she died. More after she died than before she died, though. But see, this could be the beautiful romantic episode being contest something. But I love how the anime keeps like building up Sash as a character in Con and so on after she died. Yeah, like it's spending so much goddamn time with this thing afterwards now. It's a weird thing. It could be, maybe should have been the other way around, right? Where you have more Sasha moments and then she dies. Now it's like she dies and then they have like some moments afterwards. I don't know. It's like, I mean, she was a known character. I don't know. It's like a little weird. Yeah, they're all like, this is a weird scene now. They're always traveling on this car, on this little train here, and having like a weird friendshipy moments. Oh, the train was a lot bigger now, actually. Okay, it was like there are a lot of cars. Mikasa is reminiscing, I guess, from that flashback. And you kind of trying to like figure out how to, Mikashi's how to get out Eren, right? How do we fix this without getting in trouble? It is like a weird thing, right? Because they have this issue of it's like a junta or something controlling the country ish, monarchy / military control, with actually Eren being like this godlike king in a way, but he doesn't have any actual political power in a way. So it's a complicated thing, right? They're gonna like. And obviously Mikasa always is like, I need to save my Eren somehow, right? Yeah, but without starting a civil war or something. So, they have that kind of issue where... But the thing is that Eren and Armin and so on, they're like living weapons, right? Yeah, they're living nukes, basically. So it's like an issue of, how do you... A lot of inner political drama, right? In a weird way. But she's a princess now, though, so she can utilize her royal powers. I'm never gonna drop that. It doesn't make any god sense to prince. I'll get that with you, but I don't know. Yeah, Sasha's dead, but what can we do now then? Yeah, it's like, what do you think about Eren's reactions to her dying, right? Do you see his guy laughing? Do you see the goddamn bastard laughing at it? See, it is Connie, it's like, I'm pissed off at that bastard. Something's wrong with him. Of course, Mikasa is never gonna be able to admit that Eren is going crazy. Yeah, Mikasa's never gonna be able to admit that Eren is going insane, right? He's gonna be like, Eren is perfect! Have you met my Eren? He's the perfect man ever, right? Mikasa is never gonna be able to, she's always gonna be in denial that Eren is doing weird stuff, right? Yeah. Like, because she's obsessively, into Eren, right? But not even Armin is like, actually, I think he's going crazy. Like, he's going evil route. That was a nice touch to it. Oh, this is probably the Seek place, right? Yeah. Best friendship, the bromance. That bromance is beautiful. I love that. Levi's like, I will never leave you, stupid monkey. But it's a good scene there because, I mean, we all know that Mikasa is so insanely obsessed with Eren that it's some level explained with Ackerman and whatever and so on. And like she's never gonna. She's always gonna be in full denial, right? Eren can basically murder everyone. She's gonna be like, "Oh, I still love him. He's my Eren." Yeah, like Eren can basically kill all her friends. She's gonna take that, but he's doing it for some reason, right? So, you know how she is. And then you see even Armin is like, actually, I think Eren is evil now. Like he's kind of crazy. It's like, oh, wait a minute, right? And yeah, she's like, what, even you, my Armin, et tu, Armin, et tu, right? So it's a good moment there. Everyone, except of course Mikasa, is like, wait a minute, what is Eren doing? But But I kind of like the whole idea that Eren is maybe doing it because of his love for Historia, right? I just want to provoke some shipping war, yeah. Come on, you know he's doing it for his love for Historia. It's about a pregnancy, it's about a child, right? That's what he's doing it for, to save Historia's life. It's all a love story. It's perfect for Valentine's Day. I see something after the ending here, after the Yggdrasil 3 there. Don't have to rant about the princess part again. It just doesn't make any sense to be talking about. That's a bit far more. It doesn't make sense to me. God damn, it's a princess. Here we go. Preview, probably only. Oh yeah, it's a Gabi episode next week. Nice. Gabi and Falco. Oh, angry Gabi in this episode. It's very, very angry, and then Gabi is gonna meet parents, and oh yeah, it's Gabi meeting the parents. Oh, it's gonna be a Gabi episode. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be a Gabi emotional episode. That's what we all want, right? Yeah, best girls can have her episode next week. It's gonna be lit, man. There. But I mean, the thing is that Eren's coming silent voice. I don't know. I'm thinking it was so that there was Adam. Not very similar to Class Silent Voice. But anyway, let's talk about my pet piece immediately with this storyline part, right? And I just couldn't stop laughing at it, seeing it, right? I think it's comedic. It's gonna be my first part of this review. Definitely get a good image here. That's perfect. There we go. That's perfect Mikasa image there. That can be a freaking thumbnail for review everything. I see it in perfect thing here. So anyway, let's start the review episode. Yeah. So taking time that episode 10-4 review, right? You know the drill. She's a princess. Hime-chan Mikasa. I'm covering it. Yeah. Hime-chan Mikasa. Woo! Because why not? First of all, her clan emblem thing there. It's kind of like the Date, right? The Date clan, Date Masamune and so on, which is the triad thing. So for example, you know, I think everyone knows Zelda, right? I have the game over there and stuff. Everyone knows freaking Zelda, right? And Breath of the Wild here, but you know, and I have all Zelda games. Of course I have that. I'm a huge Zelda fan, right? The Zelda Triforce thing, that is based on this classic Japanese clan, right? The Date clan, if I'm not saying the wrong thing here. I hope I'm saying the right thing here, but Date Masamune, right? He's the guy that was the shogun in, the Mongols in the Kamikaze thing. That's the name comes from, right? When they had the divine wind that hit the samurais. No, sorry, hit the Mongols, 4 samurais, I mean. Kind of like Ghost of Tsushima, you know, with the invasion of the Mongols in Japan and so on. So anyway, that clan then, that was a shogun at that time, they had the Triforce, which is kind of similar, coming to here, it's kind of similar to this, you know, the Mikasa emblem is like a triangle, it's like 4 triangles. It's 3 swords creating a triangle, the Triforce thing and so on. So the reference here then, first of all, then with the Mikasa family thing here, is she's basically like part of that legendary shogun clan, right, that fought the Mongols in real history, right? That's kind of what the emblem is from. So yeah, so historically aspect, then the reference here is that the clan there of the Masamune. That Masamune clan. But anyway, kind of similar to, as I mentioned a few episodes ago, right? We had a Tibir is clearly based on the Habsburg family of Holy Roman Empire. Right? So historical references in this anime. But anyway, so she's clearly part of that fam, the shogun. I mean, as I mentioned, that clan then was the ones that saved Japan from the first real invasion of another country, right? The Mongol invasion. So they kind of have a classic and a legendary shogun clan, right? Which, for example, the Tokugawa shogun clan, which is much later in Japanese history, it kind of united Japan, right? But not as mythical as the anti-Mongols, right? So anyway, so Mikasa then is the princess, of course. She's a Hime-chan based. She's related to the legendary shogun that saved them from the Mongols, right? Basically, right? Of course, in Attack on Titan, maybe they aren't called Mongols, right? Maybe they're not Mongolians. Maybe they're, I don't know. There's some other country, right? Or not a name, right? Because basically, the Attack on Titan world, right? It's like upside down Earth. Literally, the map is upside down Earth, more or less. They haven't shown the full map, but basically how it is. And yeah, like the names are changed, right? It's not called Japan. It's not Nippon. It's something else, right? it's like Van, right? Something else. And so I guess the Mongols would be called something else, right? But that's basically it, more or less. But her family then, you know, legendary samurai family, right? Daimyo, shogun, and so on, and she's the princess. So, but I just find it like, why is this necessary for? I just find it like, oh my god, I really dislike it, but I just find it silly because the Japanese, I'm just calling Japanese. The Japanese people, they're here, right, to ally with the Paradise. They're here to ally with them, right, and be like, oh, let's, you know, unite to fight the Marleys and the other empires and so on, right? We're gonna ally up and give you technology, and we're gonna help you industrialize and so on, right? So she's there anyway, right, to ally up with them. They have already decided that anyway, so it doesn't really relate to Mikasa being this lost princess, but yeah, but then suddenly Mikasa's like, actually, by the way, I am this, you know, specific family trait, and we can't become Titans because we are not Eldians, we're something else, right, here in Paradise. So yeah, I'm actually like Japanese too, and look at my like super magical, look at my Triforce, you know, look at my Triforce. Oh, I'm actually part of the legendary super clan, yeah, okay. You know, it's just like, I just find it so silly because they're introducing them, okay, here's Japan basically, right, and she's like, yeah, oh, I'm also part of this Japanese, you know, family lineage, and I happen to be the daughter of, like, my mom is actually, like, my grandma or something, whatever, right, was, like, the Shogun's daughter, so I'm actually, like, this lost... The thing is that, as she explained here, is that the Shogun bloodline or whatever, right, for whatever reason, is, like, gone in the home country, so Mikasa is, like, literally the princess or slash the queen, then, of Japan, right, more or less, right? He's a rightful hire, the rightful owner of Japan, basically. Like, okay, but because reasons, right? And the thing is that it has like no bearing on the storyline, because I said again, I said in the reaction part, she's here to ally with them anyway. She entered this country to be like, hey, let's be allies, right? And then Mikasa's like, well, actually, I just want to explain to you guys that I'm the princess. Oh, you're the princess? Oh, let's ally anyway. Because they were going to this country to become allies with them anyway. So her being the princess is completely a moot point. It doesn't actually relate to, you know, like the partnership was going to happen anyway. So it's just like a really weird scene where she's like, actually, yeah, I'm also a Hime-chan. You know. And then the storyline just, you know, they start crying and so on, right? And then it doesn't matter. Like, it actually doesn't matter. Like, it literally has zero impact on the storyline, now I know at least, that she's a princess. It's a scene, right, where, you know, yeah, like you know, she starts crying and, oh my god, you're the prince, you're the long lost daughter of the him, yeah, oh my god, yeah, like, but it actually doesn't really relate to their partnership, their alliance, the resources, or the general given storyline. It's just that she's just like, oh my god, you're the lost princess, this is amazing, right? And then the story just progresses without it actually matters. It's just like, she's the princess, and then, okay, whatever. Like, so I think this is like a really... I really find it as like a really weird scene. I find it a really weird scene. It feels forced narrative-wise, in my opinion, definitely. It kind of comes off as this like really weird thing where Historia has already been, of course, you know, revealed to be a princess, and she's coming to her princess sooner, and you know, she's a royal daughter and everything, right? And you know, the Zeke and Aaron and Grisha and all this stuff, right? Royal stuff and so on. Very anime, very manga, right? There has to be some princess and kings and so on. But then Mikasa, the main girl, has to also be a princess, because, I don't know, she has to be a princess. It doesn't even matter at all. It doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter at all. But she's the princess. Okay, let's go on. Yeah, it's just like, it's a weird thing to me. It feels really weird. And, I mean, you could have removed this whole thing, right, with her being a princess, and it would have been the same episode, and the result of them allying up here, right, with Japan then, basically, right, it would be the exact same, you know, partnership anyway. The only thing now is that you have this weird scene where she's like confirming that she's actually a royal bloodline, and them all crying, and then it just moves on. Like, it really doesn't matter at all. Like, it really could have been completely omitted, and it would be the exact same episode, except just of course the crying scene and so on. But I mean, it's just like a really weird thing. I feel it's really weird. Like, it's really weird, really unnecessary, I feel. And it doesn't really affect... And I mean, it's just kind of cute later on then, of course. His story's like, oh, you're also a princess? That's awesome. We're both, like, Hime-chans? Let's be best friends. And she's like, we are already friends. I guess. But aren't we already friends? Oh, yeah, so, but now we're, like, princess friends or something. I mean, it's just kind of, like, cute, and it's, like, jokingly. But it also feels, in my opinion, really forced. Yeah, it's like, okay, you know. And then... I don't think it ever is gonna matter either. Not that I know, at least. Maybe it's gonna matter. Okay, I said this here. In Daughter's Defense, maybe this thing will matter when the last chapter is done, the last part of the whole storyline. Maybe, I don't know, Mikasa will survive, or who knows, right? And then she's now the queen of Japan or something, you know, she becomes the new shogun. Like, maybe that's gonna happen. maybe it will have, oh my god, maybe it will have that thing happening, right? In the end of the whole storyline. Maybe Mikasa marries Eren, and then she's like she's the queen of Japan or shogun or empress of Japan or something. Whatever. It doesn't make any sense, but I guess like something. An epilogue where they have a kid. Mikasa and Eren or something has a kid, and then that son or daughter rules Japan or something. I don't know. You know, I mean, show a theory that could be a thing or something. I don't know. It's just so it's so unnecessary, I feel. But anyway, let's talk about the classic thing, right? You know, Historia seducing the farmer boy, the peasant, right? The princess, queen, whatever her role is, kind of her royal highness, you know, getting in there and you know, seducing the boy in the hay, right? I think very classic, like European royal scene, right? With Historia entering the the horse, I guess, stables, or maybe cows, but probably horses, right? And then she, you know, seduces the young farmer boy she wants, right, to get pregnant. That's kind of how it's presented, right? Which is really cute there, right? But this is a thing there that never really been really explored, and it's kind of like said that, oh yeah, she seduced a farmer boy, whatever, you know, ruin the royal bloodline. But I always kind of like the theory here that it's Eren the father, right? Like, I always like the theory because there has been a lot of Eren and Historia romantic build-up in the early seasons, right? And she clearly, I would argue, definitely argue at least, from her standpoint, she seems to be in love with Eren, or at least to some extent likes him, right? And I say it again here, you know, I'm not against the whole, you know, Historia Ymir, you know, I don't, you know, I like Yaoi and Yuri stuff, so I don't care about that, right? But I would argue that, as I said in my review of the whole Crunchroll thing a few years ago, that while Historia she's best friends with Ymir, and Ymir is probably in love with her, I never really, especially if you ignore the film episode, I never really see that Historia is actually in love, right, with Ymir. If anything, I would argue she's more in love with Eren, right, in the episodes. She's more interested in Eren than Ymir, I think, from like a romantic standpoint, where Historia is her best friend, when perhaps Historia is in love with her, though, from like a romantic, you know, Yuri aspect. But I don't really feel that Historia necessarily was actually in love with her, right? I think she's more interested in Eren. We see the episode here as well, right? And Eren, of course, has a lot of flirt scenes. And it's a classic scene where she flirts with Eren, and Mikasa gets jealous, right? He kind of interrupts them and gets angry at Historia for trying to, you know, flirt with her man and so on, right? So there has always been some dynamic there, right, between these characters. And this episode here, then, of course, we see that Historia is pregnant, but the whole farmer thing, I'm just throwing it in there because it feels it's almost so cliche that how did she get pregnant? She's like, oh, she slept with the farmer boy, she claims. But it's almost so goddamn, you know, tropey cliche that the princess will seduce the farmer boy, that it feels like something she was made up, right? She's like, oh, who's the father? Is it Eren? No, it's not Eren. It's like the farmer guy. It's like that guy over there, you know. He's like the stable boy, or he's the guy with the horses. That's the guy I did it with, not Eren. Like, it feels a lot of that, right? And the theory generally is that it's either like Eren, Zeke, or you, because of the bloodline thing, or just a random nobody like this guy then. But I like the whole idea there that it's probably Eren or not this guy, the farmer boy, because it's just like, yeah, it feels like something that would be the easiest lie, right, for her to say there to the, you know, the military and so on. Oh, I slept with like that guy. But whatever, I don't know his name. I see it in the hay, right? Yeah, like, oh, you know, it feels very much like, oh, you know, like the first lie you come up with as a princess, right? Oh, that thing. So it seems to me, at least, that I don't really trust this scenario that much. It could be true though, but it's a very clear thing that Eren's initiation of his plans with Zeke and so on, it comes from, of course, that Historia has to, you know, give birth and then be, you know, eaten by her kid, right, or kids, right? That whole royal bloodline progression of the powers and all that stuff, right?
what he wants to stop, right? Kinda. And of course he would, he likes her as a friend, right? No matter what, right? But I personally, even though I can't really say that it's really proven or disproven whatever, that who is the father, I just like the idea that it would be Eren, and that would drive him to go like, oh, I need to save Historia and my kid, right? No matter what, right? So I don't know, but I think that's it's a little more, how to say it, motivational, even though they're friends, right? But if it's actually his kid, it's even more, how to say it, yeah, like why he goes like, oh, I'm gonna do this shit, right? Like more so, I would say, more reasonable. Eren is like very, very into saving the Historia and her kid. If his own kid, right, it would be a stronger, thing, right? So I think that's a big thing for it at least. Otherwise, I mean, but I would say the thing, it's never really been confirmed either way, right? So I'm just like, I'm waiting for some kind of ending. I think it's gonna be explained. It's like I'm trying to quick here without spoiling anything. I just think that's, I don't know. Maybe it's never gonna be explained, but my guess would be that the father reveal kind of thing will be the last episode, if it's ever gonna be revealed. I don't know. I feel like it's probably never gonna be explained. I think it's gonna be one of the things where Ishiyama is like, I leave it up to the reader, to the viewer, to kind of determine who could be the father. You can guess, right? You can guess. You can make your own guess. I feel that's probably gonna be how it's gonna do it, but or it's gonna reveal it in the last episode. I think that either way. That's my guess. I'm just guessing, but I feel that's how it's gonna go, right? But anyway, let's go to the last part then. Kind of awkward train scene where Sasha is making jokes and Conan gets angry or confused and everyone kind of blushes, and it's just like a weird, weird friendship train scene, Valentine Day episode. Yeah, but it's kind of nice, right? I do find, as I mentioned in the reaction part, I do find it a little strange where, as I said, right, last episode 2, we have Sasha getting killed, right, and then they're building up more Sasha scenes after she is killed. They kind of mix the setup a little bit, especially last episode, and they're gonna do it even more. I think it's in preview next episode. So, but it's a little, you kind of wonder, would it be better if we had these episodes before we had a war? Like, you can, instead of jumping into the war, a time skip, we kind of build up to the war, or is it better that they kind of have the war and then we are flashbacking how Japan and other countries join into the war and the secret ally before that and then into the war? So it's a little bit like jumping 5 years and then now we're like backtracking what happened during these 5 years. Like, I'm very chronological order here. I'm a little iffy about it. Maybe we better just do it chronological order, maybe not. The shock value, of course, is much higher doing it like I did now, but I feel the build-up is a little weirder, especially with Sasha already being dead now. You know she's gonna be dead, so all her like Connie and her flirting and so on, that's like, oh well, she's dead, so sorry Connie, you won't smash. I was like, sorry Connie, man, but that won't happen now, man. It's a little bit like that, but it's a good way to build up Eren. In the last scene too, where everyone is like, Eren is probably evil now, and Mikhail's like, no, he wouldn't be, right? And then Armin is like, S2 Armin is like, I think he's evil too. Even you, my Armin, right? So it's a little bit, this flashback is a little bit building on Eren trying to kind of, how will I save Historia, and what's my crazy strategy for doing that, right? A little bit like that, to some extent. One thing I want to say of my nitpicky aspect here in the review part is that I find it a little, how to say it, why are they all allowed you to work on this railway? That these are the elite soldiers of the country. He's basically like the king kinda of the country or something, right? They have these powers, of attack titans. Actually, why don't they actually use their powers to build it faster? Honestly, why don't they actually transform? Maybe Armin's too big, but Eren could transform and like carry the stuff and so on. I don't know why he uses powers to actually build stuff. Like Mikasa is building faster than him because he's physically stronger. Yeah, but anyway, I think it's a little. I find this whole scene is a little forced from a nitpicky aspect. Though. Come on, give me humor me from a nitpicky aspect, right? Because a little bit like, hey, why are they like super powerful soldiers and so on out here building a railway? Like, couldn't someone else build the railway? I know Eren wants to talk to them about his evil plan and so on, his crazy scheme, but still, couldn't someone else just go and like build a railway
Why don't they have their elite people out here like hammering on like a steel bar? I mean, anyone could have done that in this country. So in that sense, it's a little weird that they're like, oh yeah, let's go and be like a railway together. Don't they have anything better to do? These soldiers, like, no, they're like, can't use his powers to build the railway? Can't Armin be like, oh, you need to melt this stuff? Colossal, heat power and so on. Couldn't they? They could use their powers way better to industrialize the thing. And also Eren could use his power to, of course, the armor power, right, to actually create the rail stuff and so on, be stronger than normal steel. So it's a weird. As I mentioned during the Jurassic Part 2, there is this spin-off called, what is Son of Titan in English? What I read. Anyway, so this is like an actual in-canon spin-off, which no one ever read basically. It's several chapters and so on. And it's about a kid. This is the first chapter. Then his mother's eaten by a Titan, and he survives that and never hates it, blah blah so on. But anyway, in that Son of Titan, I think it's called English, in the spin-off manga, it's as I mentioned earlier, they explain this whole how they get the weapons. They explain the whole steel thing. They explain how they're getting this like super magical steel stuff or metal or whatever, right, in this paradise. It only goes on paradise. And it's something with the Titan powers that has created like some kind of super forest of stuff and so on. And all this stuff is actually very important for why Japan and so on wants to be their allies. Also because they want their very rich, super magical metals and so on, right? And they're building the railroad and so on with this like magical metal, basically. But it's not explained in the anime at all. I'm just saying it here, yeah. Neither in the manga. It's only explained in the side manga. It's only explained in the spin-off manga, right? How this metal stuff works. So I find that a little missing here in the anime because I read this spin-off manga then like 2-3 years ago. Yeah, that's why I know about all this magical metal stuff. Right, it's never been mentioned in the anime whatsoever, until here. Right, yeah, a little bit here, hinted a bit here. So that's I think a little strange. Like they should have maybe like explain it better. I don't know, but it's definitely more detailed out in this. Spin-off manga, how this, Titan metal forest works or something. But that being said though, even in that spin-off manga, it's just also kind of hinted to that, oh, it's like magical based on this thing or something, or they don't really explain it, in detail how it works. They're kind of like, oh, it's like magic, kind of. They don't really explain it. They just kind of hint to how it works, and then like, make your own guess afterwards, But it is there explained more into that part. But that's a good point, episode 69, yeah, Valentine's Days. But anyway, that's the time, guys. Subscribe, slap on right. I'm so close to that 5,000 subscribers. That would be awesome. And I'm going to go to Twitch to watch Mushoku Tensei, which is also going to be a really good, I feel, Valentine's Day episode. That anime is very edgy, the perfect Valentine's Day. And then after, we're also going to watch Nonyon Byaru, which is probably a little too wholesome for have a Valentine's Day. But maybe Rengi makes like present something. It would be cute. But I'll see you guys soon with Mushoku Tensei, which is I said it again. I think that's the best new anime. Of the non-sequel animes, I would say Mushoku Tensei is my favorite. That or Wonder Egg Priority, which is a very strange anime. But yeah, it's a